Wow. Ganda naman. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome, welcome.
That was so nice. Can I be heard? Can you hear me?
Yes, we all hear you and see you.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good evening to those who are in the Philippines and around the world. Yeah, thank you. That was a very generous introduction, Dr. Romulo. And I congratulate Carol for this excellent, for your leadership in the Eagle Eye Charities. And thank you, Father, for your inspiring and all-encompassing prayer. So, because this is basically a talk about how to invest or how to create wealth, I would like just to give what I usually give to young people, but I think it will still be effective, which is what are the three secrets of my success? And I'm not talking about just the financial, but really in personal and professional. So I always say, when I was in high school, college, University of the Philippines College of Law, getting married to Mr. Lewis, and taking over the helm of the billion-dollar company, Beatrice International, I always set a goal, short term, long term. Short term meaning for this year, long term maybe for the next 5 years. Set a goal because without a goal, you're like a ship that is blown by the wind here and there because you don't know where you're going. So it's so important to set a goal in your personal, financial, professional life, and of course, the spiritual. The second secret is sticking to your values as a code of ethics, where, because, in this world, especially in America and in the Philippines, there will be many other events or influences, people telling you to do this, to do that, to break the law or take a shortcut because it will be easier. So I warn you, stay on the path of your values, family values, what your parents taught you, because although it was easy, that you made a shortcut, that you bend the rules, eventually it will come back to you. You've seen that in the lives of many people. And don't think that they're getting away with it, they're not. Because within your own self, you will feel adrift once you get away from your basic values of, very, very simple. It's the golden rule. Don't do to others what you don't want others to do to you. The Ten Commandments, stick on a code of ethics. Obey it. The third secret of success, my success, is determination. You set goals, you're going that way, but sometimes destiny happens, life happens, and you go into your inner self and determine, is this really an opportunity for you to take? And it takes wisdom, connection to God, connection to your inner guidance. Where should you go? Because although you have set a goal, sometimes some opportunity comes and you have to be true to yourself to say, is this it? And I tell young people and those who are listening, when something comes around and you say, wow, I'm not ready, you are ready. It might not come again. Ah, maybe I'm not worthy. You are worthy. If it comes, you take it because eventually you'll learn to do the job. Galing tayo. We are good. Filipino Americans, Filipinos in the Philippines, be convinced that you are good, that you deserve to take something that's out there. Take that opportunity. Takot, you are a little scared, then you prepare yourself because sometimes the opportunity doesn't come again. Be determined to be the best version of yourself. So I'll summarize it with: goal setting is G, obedience to a code of ethics, which is O, and be determined to be the best version of yourself. That's the God. It spells God, because with God, Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. So I leave you with that. Set your goal.
Oh, beautiful.
Be determined.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Madam Loida, for starting our day right in our. Thank you for everything that you do to our community and to our people and for connecting with us on a level that where we are right now and where you are, and people are asking, are you sure she will show up to us? Who are we? But here she goes. And you heard our attorney Loida Lewis, our dearest leader of our Filipino American society here in New York Northeast and in America as a whole. So right now, if you have quick question while she's here, because remember she is also on her way to another commitment. Now shoot it. Oh, Dr. Romulo, I think you have a quick question. The one that you texted me. Yes.
You know, having been accomplished a number of things and at this different trajectory in your life, Tito Loida, what were the things that you may have now realized that may not be available to you then, uh, at this stage in your life, and what would that be?
Well, it's not so much at this stage in my life. At this stage in my life, having sold the business in 2007 and having had failures in trying to buy a new company, or for those who are still out there, uh, aiming for the top, I always say now, you can do it all, but not all at the same time. Because when I was the wife of Reginald Lewis, who was going for the brass ring. I had two children under 10, so they need personal care. I was working with Immigration and Naturalization Service as a full-time employee, 9 to 5. Of course, it's government service, but and I was trying to buy real estate. I had three buildings in Manhattan and in Brooklyn to manage. So what happened? I got TB, tuberculosis. What does that mean? Because I was trying to do all of it, be a good wife, be a good mother, be a good government employee, and be a real estate magnate. My body gave up. So for those of you who have so many things that is before you, you have to choose your priorities. Because either your body will give up, or your husband will or wife will leave you, or your children become dysfunctional, or so many other things. So you can have it all, but choose your priorities because you cannot do it all at the same time. So, Rom, did I answer your question?
Thank you. Those are real pearls from experience, Tito Loida. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. So, right now, if you have some other question, you can shoot it, but we'll keep on going. And our agenda today is packed with some items that's more interesting in today's artists. Digital assets. What are digital assets? This is amazing. If as an investment advisor myself, when I create the wheels, I always now indicate digital asset as part of the will and also as part of the trust and estate plan. Because as according to this the recent Supreme Court ruling in United States, these digital assets are not really part of the traditional assets that you leave out in your will. So let's talk about digital assets right now. People are go crazy. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, what are all these things? Okay, Bitcoin and Ethereum has been quite around, and in order to have them, you have to have a crypto wallet. Crypto wallet is a digital wallet namely Coinbase, MetaMask. After this presentation, I'm going to take you to a live um, look of what a Coinbase looks like. But quickly, let me tell you, Coinbase is listed in Wall Street. It is a public listed company. So go for it, not any other not any other privately listed. Like for example, in the Philippines, I'm gonna show you they have I think they call it coins something. It's also approved, but hey, deal with a public listed company and let's avoid scam. Okay, so let me take you quickly to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, the major breakthrough today, the crypto creates digital property rights for the first time ever. Talking about being acknowledged by companies like Ferrari, even Christie's, these huge organizations around the world dealing with art, your art. Hopefully, one day, Ethereum and Bitcoin might be a way of paying, but not yet. But just a quick background of what a Bitcoin is. In 2007, I was with law enforcement, anti-money laundering compliance officer, and I worked so closely with ICE and all these federal agents. Bitcoin was $900, one whole Bitcoin. I did not buy. I did not want to be identified as one of the users who used Bitcoin for counterterrorism, for trafficking, for drugs. That was the use of Bitcoin many, many years ago. But today, it has evolved into an entirely new spectra. It's entirely new digital asset acceptable. So take a look. Bitcoin is fixed at 21 million. If you recall, Bitcoin is fixed. Only 21 million of them, but that's a lot. It has not been thoroughly used up. Ethereum is variable. Ethereum, the pricing now is like $2,500 or more. I'm going to show you later live. Bitcoin, wow, it's $67,000. Playing around that, drops down to 30. So it's kind of shocking when it drops down. And if you happen to buy at 67, it drops down to 30. Well, sorry for that. But now let's talk about the wallet. The way you buy these things, please, ladies and gentlemen of the Philippines, many of you has approached me about your cryptocurrency, and I'm so sorry to hear those very sad stories. Do not buy them from people who tell you recruit and then you're gonna get more Bitcoin. No, that is a scam. Multi-level marketing has been around forever. It has been around since 15 years ago, since I've been in anti-money laundering. Now hold them in something like Coinbase. Get a Coinbase, open an account, buy it from there direct. Or later, I'm going to show you a different other platform. Ethereum, on the other hand, is being used right now for NFTs. So let's talk about NFTs. And Nanding, um, can you give us an idea? Because Nanding is one of those I know. He believes in the cryptocurrency investment. And what is your allocation of your cryptocurrency versus a traditional investment, Nanding? Are you there?
Yes.
Would you
Thank you, Carl, for
consider like a
inviting me.
small Nanding Mendez, ladies and gentlemen, is the CEO of Fiesta in America and so many other businesses in Manhattan, going strong for I think 30 years, right? It's the biggest when it comes to participation. You want to introduce yourself in the community, Nanding is the man. So Nanding, in your experience, you've been doing cryptocurrency. I think, are you doing Bitcoin or Ethereum?
Both. I was introduced to that way back in 2016 when it was Bitcoin was only 12, I think 12,000 to 16,000 per share. So I'm a working class, and I'm still a working class. And whenever I have something, I put in like 1,000 or 2,000, something like that during that time. So it was a habit. It was like I was doing a week, 1,000 a week or 500 a week or something. It depends on how much I can afford during the week. I'm a disciplinarian when it comes to savings because I was born poor and I don't want to be poor all the time. So it's either you have choices. You want to be poor or you want to be rich. So I said, okay, uh, I will be committed to savings when I'm still strong. My background is in advertising and a lot of artwork and part of my discipline is to contribute something to the Filipino market. So I created the Fiesta in America. And between me and my wife, who passed away 12 years ago, we were doing a lot of things like real estate, savings, many businesses, jewelry, taxi, and everything. And then, uh, I'm an accidental real estate investor. I'm an accidental uh, Bitcoin, Ethereum investor. So whenever we have anything, even $50 or $100, we save up. So when I started with Bitcoin, it was only 12,000 to 16,000. But you can invest in a fraction of a share. So uh, $500, $1,000 there, here and there is okay. So
What
when
platform are you
it
using,
jumped up,
Nanding? What platform are you
Coinbase,
buying them from? How do you buy the crypto?
Coinbase,
Because alam mo dito nagkakamali ang Filipinos. Yung mga sa
so
kagustuhan nilang join.
you have to read a lot. Of course, every day before I wake up, I read a lot of readings from my telephone because the traditional newspapers out already during that time, and I read a lot and say, okay, I don't want to be screwed up by a lot of people. I'm very careful in answering telephones. I'm very careful in investing. So you go to the top place where everyone is using. Coinbase is the most popular during that time. So I registered. I put some money there slowly, and there's no shortcut. Believe me, you cannot be rich immediately. So we tried hard to make a slow portions of our savings. So during that time, Ethereum is only $175. It's now 2,600 at this morning. And when I sold, it was 3,400 something. So I
You
buy
have
and
your
sell
own
and
exit
buy and sell.
strategy also. Alam niyo si Attorney Lloyd De Luis, yan ay one of the things that she says, you must have an exit strategy. So you practically made money. How about your Bitcoin? Did you exit already?
I did when it was 64 uh 5 years ago or be- during the COVID. Yeah, it was like and then it went down to 20 to
I
30,000.
know. So you bought it at 12,000,
So
you exited at 64,000. Keith, I know, ladies and gentlemen, that's a huge pump on your portfolio. But are you re-entering the Bitcoin? Are you buying
oh, I
again?
did. Of course, I did. When after the COVID, I only had a small portion, which is $5,000 when I re-entered. So now it's 95,000.
Oh, see.
So
So
you're
from
talking
five to
about
nine.
from
Wow.
5,000 to 95,000. But I only bought Bitcoin and Ethereum and a couple of small coins like Dodge, ADA, and many more. So each one of them is worth 0.00001 cent or something. So I have millions of small coins, but it's only worth 2,000, 5,000 something, hoping that it will jump to a couple of thousands. But these are money that you can afford to lose. So don't be in there if you're always worrying about losing. It's not it's not your it's not your program. You only invest in money on things you can afford to lose.
Oh, it's just
So
a really not a small part of the portfolio, and I'm gonna take you to that shortly to compare the stocks and how they compare. Now, and Robin, quickly, Robinhood.com is also a platform. And people ask me, how much money do you need to buy stocks? Okay, if you're just starting, you just want a piece of the game, you can go to Robinhood. Is that right, Nanding? Is there another platform that you might recommend?
Robinhood, I learned that you can invest with a fraction of the stocks.
Yes.
Let's say, for example, it was designed for that and for small investors. I think it's a very, very good platform, and not like those Goldman Sachs that you have to pay full price for the one stock. So,
Yes, investment advisors like myself, I have a minimum of 25,000 to $50,000 per fund per
so,
portfolio.
so,
So portfolio practically half a million to $1 million.
so,
So that's huge, right? So
so,
ito, yung
yeah.
sinasabi sa inyo nanding, this is really tingi. In other words, this is retail. Pero nanding, did you know, in the Philippines, they have something like coins, nawala yung S, coins PH. But I checked the background of coins PH. It's legitimate and it's recognized in the Philippines. But tell everybody, would you rather be in a Philippine base that's not listed in the market, or would you rather be in a publicly listed platform like Robinhood, like Coinbase? What would be your preference? Anong recommendation mo to all our listeners who are Philippine based?
So, we hear a lot of many horror stories in the Philippines, including the social security there and other pension plan that disappears, because of it's managed by other politicians, other things. So I would rather be in a stable environment. Uh, U.S. is a good choice, and because whether you are anywhere in the Philippines or Europe or any part of the world, I will go with traditional stable companies. So uh, not demeaning the Philippine sector, but uh, it's your choice. If you're comfortable in the Philippines, then that's fine. But I'm comfortable. I live in the Philippines. I live in the U.S., but I have relatives in the Philippines. I travel every time in the Philippines, but um, I kind of gauge where do you want to gain more or lose more.
So there's
So
a quick question here on the chat board. How do you differentiate the platforms where there are scams and those that are legitimate? Also, are these platforms hacking proof? Yeah, this is one which I kind of address it from Tristan. Pero ikaw, what is your take on this? For me, my take on this issue is that, like I said, I would go with a platform that is publicly listed, like Coinbase is number one and it's been the oldest. And then Robinhood caters to the smaller investors. It is also publicly listed corporation. So if the platform is not publicly listed, I would be worried because a private website, as a website developer myself, I can tell you, I can create a website that looks so real, but the minute you log in, I can steal all your information, including your bank account, using my private website. So, Nandine, can you give us a quick response on this issue of scam platform? How do you determine, for the sake of our Filipino listeners?
Uh, it's very simple. I just stay away from new things. I will go with the traditional platforms. Simplify. Don't even think about. Don't overanalyze it. Uh, uh, choose your own battle. Every day there's a scam. I would stay away from new things.
Yeah, so and another thing I would like to add to that, and I would like to say it again, that when somebody offers you to sell to your friend to recruit more buyers, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the beginning of a scam. Maybe your best friend will come to you and tell you, "Hey, I made 20% in this investment," and it's true. They get a ledger showing they have 20%, and I have very highly educated, very wealthy friends in the Chinese community listening to another friend scam with at least $300,000. After third year of putting in the ledger that they make 20%, the entire platform was gone. So be careful the minute there's somebody who wants to recruit. Now, I think this is a point that while we have Nandine, let's talk about NFT, non-fungible tokens. What are non-fungible tokens? Non-fungible means it's not exchangeable, meaning every item has a certificate of originality. But did you know there are so many fake NFTs now in the market? Now, these are the two basic platform of the NFTs, and Nanding and myself, we are both operators of NFT. Nanding, these platforms, which do you prefer or do you use them both?
Oh, I
Rarible.com, OpenSea.io. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go to any other platform again. Mai-scam na naman tayo. Go to the biggest one. For me, it's Rarible because it's kind of more inclusive. The OpenSea is like a whole wide world. Parang it's so hard to compete. Okay, take it from Nanding. Are you on Rarible or on
well,
OpenSea?
OpenSea. When I started that's way back in 2020 and 2021. So of course, a lot of people got in, and then I said, okay, I even started my own and said, but I didn't go to the first level because it's kind of complicated, and there's so many competitions, and then you have to create your own and sell your own. And I said, I would just want to focus on my art. I'll just produce my art instead of selling my art. So I got in an open sea and established, and then after a year, I'm out. I didn't want to do it anymore. So of course, a lot of people made money. A lot of people lost money too. So if you're gonna be in again, or if you are a creator of art, I would suggest OpenSea is a good platform.
All right, so I'll pick it up from there. So I opened at Rarible because I know the people behind, and I know they're guardians of fake. And my son-in-law, in fact, is one of the those who were behind the Rarible who started it. And I just to give it a shot, I connected my wallet. So, guys, those of you who are still interested in NFT, they're saying NFT is dead. Is it really? It's not dead. However, beware. In OpenSea, there's so many fake NFTs. Because of AI, AI has now produced fake NFTs, upload digital, which they really didn't own, and then they're gonna sell it. Those are fake. Now, in Rarible, I'm going to show you later, and we're going to make a little bit of time, I'll take you live on rarible.com and OpenSea.io. Please take note, artists. Isulat nyo, write it down so that you remember, okay? Coinbase.com, rarible.com, OpenSea.io. Outside of this, please do not anymore bother. Robinhood, pwede pa. Okay. So, the question is, ano ba yung NFT? NFT is basically a digital art. From your art, let's say you're painting, you can take a picture, a really good picture, upload it here, and you can sell the digital copy plus your painting. So there's a way that you can upload the picture, sell the digital image plus your painting. Or you can also upload video. Yeah, if you have really special video that you've taken from years ago, it can be worth a lot of money today. You can try it. However, let me first quickly take you to a correlation. And I'm going back to NFT later as I take you to the live NFT websites. But first, I talk about the Ethereum, how there's an exit strategy for Nanding, and right now Ethereum being one of those in-demand cryptocurrency because it has other uses. It has practical uses like the NFTs. You need Ethereum in order to start building your NFTs. So Ethereum inside the portfolio. Did you know that there's an even correlation of Ethereum with Nasdaq 100? What is Nasdaq 100? It is the 100 top corporations in America, except the financial institutions. So the Magnificent Seven are all in there, and I'll show you what the Magnificent Seven are. But look at this green line here. This is the way that the Ethereum and the Nasdaq 100 has been going up and down, but they're pretty much stable. See? And you will see that once you start logging in Coinbase, the Ethereum has a very good stability and it's quite correlated to Nasdaq 100. But should you buy them all? Well, I would say, kamukha nung ginawa ni Nanding, he just bought a little bit. So 5% of a crypto allocation is 60/40 portfolio. Your portfolio is going to look like this. It's pretty positive. It helps your portfolio. So just a little bit, okay? And quickly, ano ba 60/40? As an investment advisor, I'm going to tell you 60% pertains to stocks and 40% pertain to bonds. And usually, when you talk of what stocks and bonds are, quickly, I'm going to tell you stocks, what are stocks? These are part ownership of a company. It represents a part ownership, a small, tiny ownership of Apple, for example. Bonds, IOU. If Uncle Sam or the Philippines issue bonds, government bonds, then the government owes you money. If a corporation owns the bond, like the corporate bonds, then the corporation owes you bonds, maybe paying you 6% or so. How do you make money? Well, you either wait for the maturity or you sell your bond at market rate. Sometimes it's selling at higher than what you bought it for. Index S&P 500 is a new animal, not very new. It's been existing for 20 plus years, but S&P 500 is, think of a basket of funds, like a pizza pie, 500 top US corporations, slice and dice, take a slice of your pizza. You have a little bit of Apple, a little bit of Netflix, a little bit of Tesla, Nvidia. So there you go. And now there's a new animal in town. It's called Index S&P 500 Annuity. All right. Iba na pong usapan yan. Speak to your investment advisor if you are so scared of losing your money in the stock market, folks. Maybe you are in for an index product. And if you have the time ahead of you, like remember annuity, you cannot spend it unless you're 60 years old. But for all of you young people out there, you can just get a S&P 500 funds to begin with. Or else, you can start with a large cap. What is a large cap? Ang large cap po is all companies in America exceeding 10 billion in capitalization. Andyan in big names that you know. And I'm showing it to you later. Mid-cap, yan po yung middle, 2 to 10 billion. 2 billion to 10 billion. Small cap are the smaller players, but they're not really small. They're like 2 billion. Now, are you really scared in getting to the stock market? Let me tell you. Look at this orange and blue here. Look at this chart here. This is just to show you how many times the stock market has been up. It's been up for over like 25-30% most of the time. Look at this, all the orange lines. Ang dami, oh, over 20%. The blue lines, the stock market is still up around 20% also. The red lines all the way up to 37%. In fact, last year, the QQQ made 56%. Now, the bonds, how do you compare bonds to stock? You know, they say when the stocks are up, the bonds are down. Not always. Sometimes they're correlated. Look at this line, the blue and the orange line. You see the line, derecho? Look at the straight lines. This is just telling you they're mostly correlated. There are times that stocks are up, bonds are up, stocks are down, bonds are down. But you know, in our industry, we have a saying also that you look for what is up. But let's focus a little bit on the large cap. For those of you who's been asking me, attorney, how do you invest in the stock market? Well, look for the word large cap. Large cap, talk to your bankers. Let them explain to you. Show me the performance. So, attorney, I don't know how to start. What will I ask? Two things. Ask two things. Number one, what is the performance? What are you recommending me? Okay. Eto, this advisor of the bank will show you this. Okay, what is the earning year to date? You see this portion here, the year to date, 21%, that's the year to date, meaning January up to date. Well, when I downloaded this is like 2 months ago, but it shows you 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. Wow, 10 years, 14%. Are you going to be happy with 14%? Or are you still going to stick to your 5% city? I know 5% is high. Or are you with your 1% bank account? Next question that you ask your advisor. What's inside? Ayan ah. So number one, what's the performance? Ayan. Wait a minute, what's inside? What's this clear bridge large cap? What animal is that? Okay, here you go. Top 10 holdings. So your advisor will have to show you this. Look, our Magnificent Seven is here. NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, which is Facebook. And then Visa is not the Magnificent Seven, but you have Netflix, you have Apple. Those, ladies and gentlemen, are part of the Magnificent Seven. That includes Tesla. All right, let me tell you a little bit secret. Don't be so scared because you know what? If you have the time in your hands, it's gonna go up anyway. So look at this. One thing why you want to have an advisor when your portfolio reaches to a certain point. Now you're talking about 100,000 and up. Okay. When something is down, something's gotta be up. And that is my job as an advisor. This is called utilities. Naputo lang. That's PGM utilities. What is utilities? So again, two questions. Ask your advisor. What is the performance? Here you go. Year to date, 21% year to date. That is from January to the present. Not bad, right? It's like you're in Apple. But this is not large cap, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a mid cap, meaning these are companies in the 2 to 10 billion range. And this is not growth stock. This is value. Again, naku, ayan na naman. Technical. Ano yung growth? Ano yung value? Value is company is pertains to companies who are paying dividends. So yeah, 21%. Total overall, look at the performance, 9%. Wow. Are you happy with 9%? Yes. To me, I'm okay. Again, second question that you ask your advisor. What is inside? After knowing the performance, what is inside? There you go, PG&E. That is like Meralco in the Philippines. So these are utilities. Why utilities, you think? Diba, you still use light, electricity, air conditioner, no matter what. You still travel, you still buy gasoline, no matter what, right? So utilities is here to stay, and it's just a mid-cap classification. And here's the problem with many of you young people. Young people today, especially Gen Xers and below, yung mga nasa 22 years, some of you are listening who are very young. Don't be scared. If you're 20 today, my goodness, you have like 70 years ahead of you. In the meantime, you put your money in a bank account that earns you 1%. Inflation last year, magkano? 7%. Can you believe it? So ano nangyari sa pera nyo? How much is your money worth tomorrow? How much is your peso or a dollar worth tomorrow? Your gasoline today, how much is it tomorrow? Your medicine today, your hospitalization today. As we grow older, hospitalization is more in demand, isn't it? The chances of going to a hospital, getting more medications. So, ladies and gentlemen, even if you're 65 at my age, hey, I am looking at, I'd like to look at least 30 more years ahead of me. So, do I have time? Yes, I do. I have time to make money. Do I have time to take the risk, maybe suffer a fall down? Yes, I do. And again, you are a small investor. Use Robinhood. Now, Professor Chris Paner, we will do a little sharing here. Everybody, you are welcome to share because I do know that many of you has been a victim of one scam here and there. And there are so many of these scams. One of the most prevalent scam today is an imposter. An imposter will call you, who will tell you, "Hey, protect your money. You're in danger," and then will send you a link. Don't click it. Don't click the link. If you need to do anything, call the number. If you receive a text from Citibank, nope, call Citibank and find out what's the problem. Now, quickly, these are the different types of scam. Ang dami, ano? Many of you have heard of, oh, I'm sure all of you are familiar with social media scam. Take a look at the slide, the government impersonation scam. Kunyari, IRS or BIR. Natakot naman kayo. So don't be scared when you don't be alarmed. My mother-in-law just got a call from Medicare and directing her to a government website, which is a real government website. But at any time there's a call to protect your asset, ooh, wait a minute. Are you really protecting or are you taking my asset? There you go. The government grant scams. Ladies and gentlemen, some people who are very highly educated that I know, very wealthy and involved, very much involved in charitable endeavor, the scammers will follow us. They know who has money. They know you are a charitable person. And you are right on target. We are on target because they know we do charity. This is how it sounds. Congratulations. You qualify to a government's grant. Really? What is that? Does it cost me money? That's it. No. You just apply. Here you go. You start applying. Now you are invested, right? You invested your time. Oops, there is some kind of fee, small fee, $10. Okay, I'll put my $10. Now you are invested. This is an anatomy. I'm telling you, this is how it works. You're getting yourself invested, folks. And okay, oh, congratulations. You've been approved. You're approved for $50,000. But give us time before send us your bank information. Nako, eto na po. Nagbigay na tayo ng information. Okay, we will be crediting. Next call. Naku, IRS of United States will not allow unless we pay the taxes. Naku, ito na, naloko na. How much taxes? We have to pay po mga $8,000. There you go. And now, you call me. Attorney Carol, totoo ba to? And I look at it and I tell you, no, you've been scammed. Oh no. But you're invested. You want to believe it's real. Friends, acknowledge, take the loss, walk out, and block it. Okay? That is just the way to go. And this happens a lot in social media, in a workplace. You know, the phishing email that you send, this is primarily the responsibility of your company. But then let's go to grandma's scam. Oh, have you heard of grandma? Ikaw, Professor Chris Piner, I know you told me there's something similar to this. Quickly, what is a grandma scam? 10 years ago, I was working with the Attorney General of the New York State. We're talking about the grandma scam. Here's how it goes. Hello, grandma. Naku, you're loving apo. Nahuli was incarcerated. He's caught with drugs. What? My apo? In drugs? Yes, but please, please do not tell his parents. He's so scared. How can I help? Okay, we have to release him first. He's detained by the police. The bailiff is gonna go there and collect money so we can pianza bail him out. We need $5,000 or let's say $2,000. Make it even affordable. I have no money. Do you have watch? Do you have jewelry? Okay, somebody will go there. Yes, I have. Okay, eto na. You handed it over. And I know, Professor Paner, what's that? What do you call that? Budon? You have something in the Philippines?
Budol. Budol. Yeah. Can you hear me,
Yes,
attorney?
yes, I can hear you. So yung budon, paano na yun? Quickly, give us idea from here in America. Ano yung budon?
Budol. Yeah, like a similar case. Uh, so all of a sudden, the somebody calls the katulong or the yeah,
The maid.
katulong or the maid. Oh, your amo or si ate or kuya got accident and
Ah, okay.
they need medicine. They need to pay for hospitalization, and I'm his friend or her friend, and I just like to help him. So she told me, your ate, that uh, uh, you can give you get the money from the in the house or jewelries and then give it to me. So I'll just be the one to uh, use it for hospitalization of your ate or kuya,
May
the owner of the
similar, no? Halos parehong-pareho. Pero, alam niyo yung scammers, gumagaya sila dito sa amin, sa mga scammers ng United States. They learn. And pretty much a lot of scammers, would you believe, are US-based. Like those selling you those cryptocurrency, they learned that here, and then they created a website. And then they go this multi-level marketing to tell you. And I see there are some questions which we will take care of your question about that because I'm taking it live to the cryptocurrency platform. But let me just take these last two items here. The winner scam, I think I basically touch on the winner. Congratulations, you're a winner, blah, blah, blah. But please, there's no such thing or a sudden inheritance or a Bitcoin has been deposited to your account. And then anytime they ask you for the account number, forget it.